just through the middle of Erangel. Most teams will be relatively pleased with how this is going. Which are going to be switching it up? Are we going to see the teams that won on Miramar really start to put the gas pedal down and use that momentum? It's hard not to see more points and more resurgence from the Ences. Team Liquid have been fantastic as well, and I think that might mean that that's at the expense of some other teams in the lobby, Martin. It has to be.
Yeah, and Vidovic is missing one player in this game, and I see a solo versus BBL hot drop in the God compound southwest of Gatka, so that could also be interesting. But yeah, it's either like a quarry military game here, could be somewhat center, but you could also see a Sur in East Alba ending. That would be kind of interesting. Let's see where we end up going here for the first circle. Enterprise is competing for Skate's compound again. Now Smash is trying to leave while we go full on with the Dasher. That is definitely going to be the US that's going to be winning that. Solo is going to be holding on to the God compound to themselves. We are going to be going Stalber and North. This is your time ends after a win like that. This is your time to secure the top 8 in the bag.
Not a good time for Veni Vidi Vici after that conversation to go down to 3 players at the start of this game as well. Like, if it was difficult before, now having to play and still get those points from a maybe more passive position is going to be super rough for them. Big news for Eds. They finally have that northern circle. You're right though, Martin. They've been, like, their circle luck in this tournament. Obviously, every team plays circles away from, like, their home. But Eds really haven't had that many at all, have they? Like, they haven't really had a game where they don't need to travel very far, to be honest.
No, that's the kind of hard thing from playing like super far edge, and that's what they love doing. Like they enjoy playing, they enjoy playing edge, they enjoy coming late into the circle, and they still make good macro moves because like first circle, let's be real, it doesn't really matter, but if you get a home turf circle like the northern sides where there are not a lot of compounds available, that is where it really come into effect, right? If you're able to take, you know, sure, the 3 buildings on the top east of Cerveny with a 2-2 split with the warehouse, and you're able to defend it off any crashes, anything, and you have those endings up there, you're almost guaranteeing yourself, you know, 10-15 points from that alone.
Yep. Well, if they're able to guarantee 10-15 points from here as well, not only will they have dragged themselves up from near the foot of the table, they'll be cementing their status as one of the top 4, top 5, and be fairly confident going into the grand finals. It's crazy to think with just a few games left to go, 1 or 2 good games still just makes all of the difference, but that's a function of how strong the mid-pack is. We've seen really good points come out from the top end. We haven't seen the same team win 3 or 4 times in a row or anything like that. It hasn't been a completely dominant performance, although the top teams have been great. And that's giving more teams a chance to rise up and separate themselves in this mid-pack. I think we're still not going to know who 2 or 3 of our grand final qualifying teams are by the last game even.
Yeah, I mean, we had the pleasure of having a really good upper bracket. On the very last game, there was basically 5-6 teams that could make it, and there was 2 or 3 spots that was available for the taking. And honestly, we're setting everything up. We're looking to see that it's going to be a huge game, and it ended up just falling apart. Like all the contenders just died out early. Some of the other teams in the top 3, they died out early. Credex ended up being the team on the cusp. And they had the closest team they had was BBL with 8 points behind. They ended up dying somewhat early before late game 2. It ended up being a very entertaining game actually. If you're looking at like there was 3 teams that was on the cusp, and there was 3 or 4 teams that potentially could compete for it, and it ended just not happening here. I think it's going to be a different case for today. I think we could end up seeing maybe some tiebreakers in effect. That could be super interesting. Skater ended up going really early on, competing for some of the compounds and see how deep they go. Maybe some 2-2 splits could be coming in there. Just drive scouting to see if anyone shoots at them. Team Liquid, they're going to be going 3 guys. Okay, that's 3 cars. That is fantastic for them. Buggy for Clip and Buggy for Vard. So 4 vehicles for Liquid, and they're going to be moving out somewhat early off Jingy. That's your favorite gun, John, and it's going to be Stalos taking it.
And they're in circle as well. They're not quite the first to move towards the center of the circle, but they should have decent visibility and a good opportunity to scout out what's ahead. Ents going all the way up, by the way, to the top of Stalba. If Foot Esports don't coalesce on their position up top very, very soon, Ents could be in a position where you pick one or two of them off. Divan, in the meantime, you can see them by the crossroads. They're not taking a shot, I think, because they don't want a protracted fight right now against the Wildcats. Ideally, they just want the Wildcats to go so that they can go. Imagine moving up here from Military Island after being in a 4-minute firefight and being in the blue. It's just not a pleasant situation to be in.
No, and we've seen some fights here with Divan and Istanbul Wildcats before. It's not been too pretty. It's been really messy, always ended up being late. Matsi, though, has been spotted, and he's been taken down by Kipnesh. I love what we saw from Sahar there. He is continuing to drive, he's continuing to bait, and just take so much focus and attention on himself and opening up everything here for Kipnesh.
It helps him so much, right? Like, you could see Matsi was focused on Kipnesh and then had to turn around when he saw the vehicle. There's a good chance that Kipnesh goes down if Sahar wasn't playing support with that vehicle there. So very, very important stuff. Wildcats, though, deciding they want revenge, and we've got a bridge cap situation going on.
Yeah, that's, you don't want to make enemies in PUBG. Shang, Samti, and that's exactly what Divan did. Now they have to take the West Bridge if they don't want to get camped here.
They're so close to the East Bridge. They're so smart. They're not actually in vehicles yet. They're scoping out, trying to work out, is there anyone on the north side of this bridge? If they spot so much as a flicker of movement, I reckon they're going west. Shots have been fired now, so they know the Wildcats are there. There goes the element of surprise. Really good anticipation by Divan. Meanwhile, Team Liquid here in the southwest of Phase 1. Remember, this has gone quite far north. Having a peek further in and towards the gas station kind of direction, we've got Enterprise sort of pulled out there at the moment.
Ooh.
This could be a little tricky for Liquid to get further in.
Rough for Solo, one of the teams on the cusp, actually the team exactly on the cusp, 46 points tied with Enterprise, but the tiebreaker for placement points puts them inside right now, but losing one member. Rough for Solo. Enterprise looking really good with their 2-2 split inside the circle currently, if we're looking at the map. And now BBL will be moving out extremely late. The question is, does Solo try to gatekeep gems? He finds a little bit of Polish power here.
Great initial headshot there, but having to back off. He saw multiple vehicles and he thought, I could continue shooting on the one, but I saw UAS 2 and 3. He looked at where his teammates were and he went, it's better to disengage, because if they do fully commit to this, yes, he might be able to get a knock, but it's still a 2v1, 3v1. So I like what Skate did there. Unfortunate they didn't get an initial knock.
Yeah, alright, Mix Secret is taking down Enterprise, losing casualties. The team on the other cusp of the 8th place of the grand finals of G-Loot Season 6. Ooh, Mexi! Down to 1 HP, he's gonna be found here, that's free kill. Potentially with a free kill onto Mexi, it was indeed 3 versus 3 now for Liquid.
Are you going to commit to this? It looks like they are.
Yeah, they can afford it. Enterprise can't. Question is it going to be some good points for Enterprise, or are they going to be taken out early by a team that doesn't need to? Clip finds Yanni with a nice drive-by headshot. What an absolute monster.
Treats it like a bolty. Easy win. That's how you do it, right? Just headshot every time. Don't worry about it.
My man Clip literally plays 200 hours a month. You don't want to take a drive-by chance against this guy.
No.
It is crazy the amount of effort he puts in. Lovely to see.
What? Okay, Divan and Istanbul Wildcats. That's interesting. Divan saw them there, started taking shots, and they went across the East Bridge anyway. They wanted this fight, and now it's going to be properly fighting out in the blue. Crossco and Suketo. Why?
Benevitovic as well with BBL. Another team that can afford it against a team that needs the points. It's here in the cube compound on the left side of the screen. Second piece from Quetpapin's found. More shots coming in. Mashman found though too, but it's traded immediately. BBL 4 points. They continue to rack them up, and they're going to be able to save their teammate to 99 points. Just 24 shy of the record that we've had from Entropic currently. Istanbul Wildcats are now still fighting Divan. They can't afford it either. Divan 40 points. One of the teams that could potentially with a good game jump in. Now though, the circle shift here, John, what do you think?
Right up on the south side of Stalba, it's going to be interesting to see who wants to try and contest a little further up the mountain. So many teams are on the north side, in the north half of this, that it's going to get really crowded. I want to see one or two teams go far east, for example, and start rotating around to somewhere a little bit less crowded. But what I don't understand here, Martin, I don't get why Divan saw the Istanbul Wildcats, shot across the bridge, and still made the decision to get stuck into this fight, because ultimately, I don't think in the long run this can be good for either team.
I mean, Istanbul Wildcats at this point needs 3 wins to get in, or two really good wins to get into the top 8. But Divan,
Yeah.
they could make it happen. Maybe they're thinking, all right, we're 4 guys alive. Maybe like these guys are already missing a player. We know that for a fact, and they could get some more points. The question is though, are they going to get too late to the party once we get into the
So
Stalba
risky.
fight?
Yeah. Like, you get up to 4 points here, right? But then you're so late into phase 1 and you've depleted some of your meds just to get in there, and you have to hope that someone's not on the edge, able to see you as you come in. It's a very big risk for Divan to take.
On the other side of things, we have for esports fighting Semangat and E-Man gone down. Suketo taking damage here. There's only 1 damage per second or so with the distance multiplier. He's gonna pop a first aid. Are they gonna jump? They're gonna jump into the car. Some of them are pretty low. 1 or 2 bullets could take them out, and that's gonna be rough for them. They're trying to disengage. Actually, they're coming on the beach. They're spotting him. He has 63 HP. He's gonna take down
dear.
Northscript. Nice shot. More shots coming in. Ooh! Oh, Kidech finds him. And now it's down to Crosscow to make something happen here.
Yeah, that was really, really good. A couple of shots and spray as well. Very nicely done by Suketo. Can't finish it on his own. We're going for the finishes from Crosscow. Istanbul Wildcats need every point they can get. And they want to confirm that one before going for the revive. Oh, wow, some serious fireworks going on. Meanwhile, we've got Skade going up against who I think is, yes, Fago. And they are properly in the same space at the same time. This will not wash at all. One of these teams has to back off. There are at least
So
3
many
more
teams
teams
there.
in the close
BBL
vicinity
going
too.
through as well. BBL going straight to it. They're like, all right, let's drive by these guys. They're going to be offering the points. Quimpa finding Sabila, but GMT finds Smash. This is a rough situation for Tendelos and Smash here by the Dacia. Nate comes in. Simple Wildcat's been found. Meanwhile, Basaha. Good nade. That's on the other side of the vehicle, though. The question is, are they able to connect the next one? Tendelos taking a lot of damage there. The car gets exploded away, and now it's only smoke cover. Sean goes in, could find maybe 1 or 2 members here. Finds 1. Does not connect a single bullet. It's Quimpa. More bullets there from the mini. Does not connect another one. Hackatori finds Novik though. But below, oh, that's a fantastic nade for Code Marco, John.
Beautiful stuff. Code Marco adds to his tally so far today. Gets another nade to finish Jong as well. This is the problem when the fights start lasting a long time. Really, really good arm there on BBL. They're now trying to move in and try and finish the rest of Skate. Don't forget though, Fago is still here. Solo is still to their south. Polish Power in the vicinity as well. Just because you win the first fight doesn't mean you'll be able to walk out of there alive. It is absolutely chaos at Stalba and west of Stalba right now.
I love this rotation from starters. They are so aware of the sidelines that we have. That is a wrong word. I don't like using that. The line of sight that you have from Stalber, they were driving just under the ridge to try to get into this exact spot here so that they can play the south side of Stalber, basically being center in the circle. The question is, are they going to be able to defend it? Meanwhile, we have 3 members from BBL. They have jumped into the 3-digit total points here. 101.6 kills so far. Looking really good. And they're probably going to be looking to making this really far north rotation, potentially all the way on the east here, John, that you asked for.
This is great. I love this from BBL. I wasn't sure if it was going to be them who did it, but they had the advantage. They could have tried and pressed. They could be all over GMT right now trying to get the last point. Instead, they went, let's make the macro play. Let's rotate over to the east. We're not worried about whether we're fighting 1 team or 3. The third-party potential there is a lot less, and we're going to have much more of a stable game. I love this move from BBL.
Smart plays. Circle closing in. It is potentially a hard stealth, but endings up not I'm not seeing one of those in a very long time, but they're very enjoyable to watch. It's like a mini urban ending. Teams here in the no-lean compound. They're going to be going up against Rustamar, putting in a good amount of damage on to Fago there. The last member coming in now, Nuki. He's going to pop a tire, and that could be a free point for them. They cannot lose a member there. Nice, Rustamar. They're going to be finishing off with that. Fago out in 14th place. Unfortunate situation, but it's mainly the teams in the lower half of the bracket that's gone out so far, and it's the teams that are fighting for this top 8 that is getting the points. Solo,
Pretty much all of them in pack still alive as
Exactly.
well. So you like Divan, Polish Power, Foot Esports, Enterprise. Any of those teams could get a squad wipe or two and like bring 8th place up to something like 50, 52 points. It's creeping up, and we're looking for that magical 60 mark here. Stardust should also get a couple from this game thanks to their great positioning. Ents, they're not quite there yet. They still need to grab a bit more, so getting spotted this early isn't ideal. Nuki is super far from the rest of his team as well.
yeah, the question is where does this next circle go here? We're going southwest. It's going to be a south style ending, and we've had a lot of those. There's a lot of good amount of cover on that southwest. A lot of ridges, a lot of rocks to be played. And now it's going to be a huge decision for Ents. Do they try to sweep in and try to push into that western side, or do they swing around and try to go into style? But I think the only play for them right now is to try to get in on the western side. What they don't know is they have a full Polish Power team ahead of them, a
Right.
3-man solo team, and a 4-man Sabem that is going to be having a really huge impact on their further campaign here in this game, John.
I feel like if they do just send it south, they're in big trouble. But they have been fired upon by Solo so far, so it's not. There you go. It's not as if they don't know someone's here, and there's not really room for them to go beyond Solo. It's such a thin slice of the circle, and it's phase 4. You don't want to go out into the blue to avoid them. So there's a chance they go north. You know, they might actually try and wrap around the north side of Stalba. I think for Ents, unless they want to go through everyone, I think that would actually be possible for them right now.
Rustamar gone down, Intense finds them. That is really unfortunate. And now that gives some information to Solo here, John. That is not what they were hoping
Yes.
for.
They're very close now as well, aren't they? Like basically a ridge or two away. 2 members of Solo. Tiksu has heard the footsteps. They know they're being aggressed on. All of Ents are quite close to each other. At least Jemti could be the joker in the pack behind them that could do something. Let's see if Tiksu gets the element of surprise.
Does not. Solo trying to smoke, trying to get ahead. Oh my god, Sosa turns on him with the headshot. Huge for them. And this is rough. This was supposed to be the home turf circle for them. Squeaky finds Pombelovo. That's important. And now he could help. He gets shot at from behind though. He could help with a potential nade. That could be huge. It goes straight to Briel. Oh, does not do any damage to them though. He jumps down. Information has been gathered. Now Jemti finds Nuki. That is so unfortunate for Ents losing that player on the south side.
That's the joker in the pack, right? We were always wondering when Jemti was going to pounce. He still has an opportunity to third party against Solo as well, but not in time for Squeaky. That's Nail Cop managing to finish that off, unfortunately. Some great positioning from Stardust early, now coming into third party. And on the home circle, Ents are outside of the placement points.
Oh, some damage being put into some of the knocks there for Solo, and the circle is pushing them. Nailcop is going to get Briel. Bambilova is going to go down to the circle. I think that's a point for Ents. It is. They got 51 now. There's 2 kills total for them. They're on 7th place, but Solo is still alive. They are not anymore out in 11th place without any placement points. 7th and 8th place currently, 51, 50 points. Now, Digital Lytics are alive. 4 guys, 56 points. If a good circle comes their way and they're able to capitalize on this and survive the BBL and Divan onslaught that is going to be inevitable later, then they could have a good game and really cement their position. And instead of 3 spots to fight for, it will be 2.
Yes, there are still 5 teams under 50 points that are alive at this point. And Divan currently struggling a little bit against Digital Athletics. No one really wants to go in the area between Enterprise and Stardust right now. You guys can see that. It's one long, gentle slope up. And that's fine if you're one team fighting one team at the top and you know you can hide behind trees and rocks as you move up. But the fact is, with 10 teams still alive, what that basically means is you're vulnerable vulnerable from at least two directions at any one time. It sucks to have to try and move up that hill knowing that you can be shot at from somewhere you haven't considered pretty much every 5 seconds. It is a rough place to be. That's why so many teams are now on edge. You got BBL and Foot Esports tussling for position at the top of Stalber, but there's so much cover here that I don't think this would be a quick fight. If BBL get the first knock, they still have to run in, right? They still need to lay the smokes. This one's going to be a slow burn.
BBL, 3 guys alive, 6 kills already. And this road is crucial for the control. They can look over the edge down onto DA. They also have some members of Stardust on the other end of this road that could peek. He sees the car there, Gridpa. Question is, does he have the information? Clip and Team Liquid. Clip has an arm, bolt action, scary player to have an arm in this case. Plenty of bullets for them. 4. Put him out of utility here too. Metralius finds Kidnesh. Oof, this is getting scary here. Did it to the Alex with a good game. Finds potentially maybe another member of Divan.
That's why.
Just one more bullet.
Divan, they knew they had to make something happen, so they tried and sent it in vehicles and leapfrogged
BBL opens it up.
Oh no, yeah, BBL coming into aggress on them from Stalber. Let's take a look. They've got the high ground. They're looking down on board with Kempa now. Meanwhile, Team Liquid, I think James has worked out where free kill is. That's almost a perfect line with the frag grenade. What beauty there. Follow up from the M4. And Team Liquid swarm all over these warehouses. They will probably know that one more person is in there. And Detrix has picked up the shotgun.
It's like when you drop food on the floor and all your pets come running. You know, they know it's a free time.
Oh, man. London and pigeons.
Oh, that too. I don't want to call the Liquid pigeons though, but they are definitely hungry for some of the kills that they see here. That was a really good execution for the kill there and free kill. Such a talented player mechanically, James, and then also him being able to IGL like he does. It is crazy. Really complete player. Now, this circle, if it goes away, it does really hard indeed.
Oh,
it means that Sakura Sanson and Foot have to fight. And Sakura Sanson is already qualified. Foot are fighting for survival.
So if Team Liquid win this fight, you can see the circle here. Everyone on the north side of Stalber. If Liquid win this fight and Dedrix is eliminated, it's okay for Liquid to push up the hill because they know no one's behind them. If you're Illidan right now, you're super paranoid because you know people are behind you. That's the problem with that terrain. And there's no way, Sovereign Polish Power, Stardust, PBL, Sakura Zensen, Foot Esports, you're not getting 6 teams coming in off the top of Stalber there. There's no way there's enough cover. This is about to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, this is gonna be really rough. This could also change up things once we get to how high and how many points is gonna be the cutoff point. Because a lot of teams, Foot Esports, Polish Power, they are alive. They could be having a good game, big game for it. Deadrix is flashed. He finds Vard. So the other players, just jumps in. They are going to be able to save Vard. And he is potentially going to be able to find a new vest with that. Good nade coming in. Does not connect fully. Odin Mavisi finds Tekkers. Finds another one as well. Such a good play from Odin. And Sakura Sansen finds maybe one. Now He-Man, last player from Sakura Sansen alive. They're just getting absolutely demolished from Foot.
He's made it happen before, though. He-Man.
Polish Power heard that. Look at that. Polish Power, John. They are sending it in. They're trying to get the knocks here. Trying to finish this off. They did. Find Salty. Now Odin Mavisi gets 3 points for Foot now. They are getting completely destroyed, though, by BBL and Polish Power now, though.
There's nobody coming in behind Polish Power, so Savin would have been the team that Polish Power would want to watch out about. That's okay. They've decided to stay west of Polish Power. And Cappy's so smart here, just looking down the hill, making sure that once the rest of the team engage, there's no one coming up behind them to turn Polish Power into the sandwich. Great, smart play from Cappy, allowing the rest of his team to get those kills.
Yeah, enabling the rest of the teams to fully focus on that. Nork is also out there scouting to see what is the next move into the circle. They have to take on Savem. Stardust decided to go for center circle and try to hide for that. Now Foot Esports managed to get 1 point in placement. Roger goes down to the blue zone. Kapi spots one Savem member. And Savem right now 37 points on 14th place. Need to win 2 games to get into the top 8, John.
Savim now spotting Polish Power. Ooh, not sure about that jump there, unfortunately. Not quite costing them a knock at the moment. That's because they disengaged from up top, so Polish Power feel they can now take him
Must
out.
take.
Unfortunately, though, Ketva has
Traded.
read this perfectly and turns around. He can
Traded
take
again.
it out straight away. That was a headshot from Beryl instantly from Kapi there. Beautifully played.
Brunio finds a flush with an 8. Important for that. Biard finds Metralius. This is a huge fight onto the Analytics. They're trying to have a massive game for this one. They find one more. He needs to finish him off. He finds him as well. Kapi, Norkis, these two guys managed to finish off this fight here. The question is, does Salmon capitalize on this, or do they run into Stardust?
Well, I feel like that's going to be the answer there. Stardust now getting fully aggressed on that nade. Could be good. Very nicely done. Ulsen gets one. Can they follow up with more? Polish Power still on the other side, remember, so everyone is so wary of third parties. They don't want to just full send to finish the fight, and that's why more nades being used, backing off a little bit, always looking up top. Polish Power have the high ground. Another fantastic nade from Voldemort.
They need to capitalize on that. They're not inside the circle yet. They need to make sure they get the most out of those nades and knocks. Pushing on already now. Apocalypse trying to defend that northern push. With a bit of utility from the knocks from BBL, they could make another push Polish Power here, but Voldemort is holding on to that west edge. More smokes needs to be deployed here for Polish Power. 50 points for them, 9th place. They could take it away from Ensign Solo at this point.
So
Bad with the MK just picks apart Savim here, John.
This is ridiculous. Vard, third. Everyone is constantly looking around for the third party, and Savim spent so long correctly looking at Polish Power on the high ground. It's actually Liquid on the low ground. Remember, there's no one behind Liquid. What we were talking about, that warehouse position before, if you push up the hill from here, you don't need to worry about what's behind you. Liquid are fully abusing that right now. Atex on the AWM for Clip, trying to take names too. They can basically see everyone else, and because they're free to focus, they are popping off right here.
He's trying to find the last member of Digital Analytics. It is Schiller, and Schiller is sneaking up, trying to get closer on to to Polish Power. Digital Analytics could make something happen here. Apocalypse finds Ulsing. Now it's Stardust. After getting the rest off, it's trades back and forth. Huge fight for them here. Stardust trying to defend their position. They are at 6 or 7 points right now. They're just trying to get the most out of it. Medibay, Nailcup still alive, gets another one. And it's traded immediately now. Nailcup, last player. Could Polish Power maybe find one? They need
third parties here. Polish Power, if they manage to find this and finish them before they get backstabbed by Schiller here, that's going to be huge.
No, not far enough.
Not yet.
He's on the other ridge. He's on the other ridge there, John. They're just behind that with the smokes. They have some visual cover, but they're outside current circle. James is pushing on the west side, and Stardust is trying to make the most out of it. James is sneaking in. He finds one member. He has a mini, does some damage, knocks one, has 2 nades too. Shots are coming in though. He hits the ground. Level 3 helmet did not get hit at all, but his vest is getting shredded just a little bit. 4 Molotovs and 2 nades. Insane amount of lethals there.
Oh man. We're going to start using them now for sure, starting off with the frag grenade. The res does come out, but will it be in time to get the first aid off and prevent the re-knock? No! In fact, that gets both of them. Savim Esports eliminated. We now have our top 4. Team Liquid, the only team with more than 2 players left, and they control half of the circle here in Phase 8.
Yeah, but the next circle did go north, so they're going to have to traverse across open ground, and Schiller is still Schiller on the northeast side and could be finding one of the Polish Power members. James, though, he has an idea where one of the Stardust members is. He could be among all those cars. Does a lot of damage. Flashbang coming in. Where are those 4 Molotovs being used yet? Oh, the explosion from the car gets Nail Cop, and we're down to just 3 teams. 2 from Polish Power, 1 from Digital Analytics, and 3 from Liquid with 10 kills so far. They are definitely been stepping up here in day number 2. Schiller sending it in. One more flashbang. Helps come in from the side here. That is Norkis massive for them. Polish Power, 6 kills, 2nd place guaranteed. That is 12 points for them in just this game.
And Liquid have wrapped around both sides of the circle at the moment. They are only looking forward right now. Polish Power will know that it's likely to be a 3v2. Clip will be radioing the position of Norkis. 9 bullets left for the arm. You might as well use a couple. If you get a headshot here, that is absolutely impetus for the team to collapse in. Polish Power, very capable of winning a 2v3 fight, and a lot of respect being given here by Team Liquid for that. It's all about getting that first knock.
Yeah, Polish Power need to isolate a fight here, and James is pretty far ahead. Liquid are somewhat split at this point. James is trying to get the utility off that he was just able to loot from all the members that he killed. But Clip is trying to find that opening knock here while Polish Power is trying to find the knock onto James. Remember, Bot also has an MK14 and he's going to be putting in a lot of damage in case they peek out later. 5 Molotovs here for James. If they get late game enough, he's going to be able to completely close off any smoke play from Polish Power. So they're just going to wait for the circle to close, and then he's just going to Molotov every single smoke and defensive angles that Polish Power has, though. Teams,
the more time passes, the more information they get. Cappy down now. It is a 3v1 situation. Immediately throwing towards the smokes. Norcus gets VAR'd. That was the critical off angle. That will allow him a little bit more freedom, but it's Clip and James moving in on his position.
Nice, well played.
Beautiful stuff. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Another 12 kills and a dinner for the boys.